Hey guys, I'm Jason Schreiner. We're at BJ's Performance. This is After Hours. This video is going to be presented by Leading Edge Impellers located in Corona, California. If you need any work at all, make sure you hit them up. Today on After Hours, we will be installing a 550SX mat kit, showing you the ins and outs to make sure you don't make any mistakes. We have our inserts for the sides. We have our inserts for the tops. A common mistake that we've seen when guys are doing it themselves, not having per se professional install it, they are not using the inserts. If they are using the inserts, they're not shaving them down. So today, we'll be showing you how to do this properly. We will not be using a paintbrush anymore, ever. Go to Harbor Freight. Here's the model number and the description. You can pick this thing up for 49 bucks. It'll save you hours of Jettrim install. If you're installing more than one on the same day, this is when I definitely recommend this. Say goodbye to paintbrushes. If you have to, then you have to, but don't use them anymore. For safety, we are gonna use some blue tape. Make sure we don't get a little crazy with the Scotch-Brite pad. Make sure we don't scratch anything on the customer's ski. Grab your Scotch-Brite, start tacking it out. So we've taped, we've surfaced, we've blown off, we've sprayed all of our inserts, we've sprayed our inserts, we've let it probably tack up for about 5 minutes. It's probably 85 degrees right now, so as long as it's not coming off in your fingers, you're probably good to go. I give it a little slight arch, just so it folds down into the pockets. We've done our sides, now we're going to do our top. Inserts have been glued in. This is the common mistake, where either somebody didn't glue them in, or if they did, they didn't sand them down flush with the side of the hole. Okay, so I'm gonna remove some of the tape that I've already used just to give me a little hard line for the dash. You don't have to do it, but with me not using the spray gun every single day like the guys at Jettrim, I get a little bit more overspray. So a little bit less cleanup than me. There's my hard line. I'll come in with my gun. Okay, so the one thing I've learned from the guys at Jettrim, we do not want any contact cement on our trim. The reason being is when we want to go through and put super glue as a bead, the contact cement doesn't bind very well. So what we're going to use is Coleman Camp Fuel. Get a towel wet. While the stuff hasn't tacked up, we're literally just going to go in and wipe all of our overspray off. Okay guys, while the dash is going ahead and drying, I went ahead and sprayed the back, if we want to call it the cap area. This is going to roll over the back edge like that. So once again, took my scrap tape, made me a nice little hard line, so when I go to pull it, don't have overspray everywhere. So now that it's been sprayed, I'm going to pull it. So in case any of the tape is underneath the spray line, don't have any overlap. And this is what I'm talking about tacky. If your finger sticks to it, it's too wet. Don't apply yet. So it's not that it's the hardest piece to apply, it's just the most difficult. So there's really no right way, wrong way. The only piece of advice that I can give is this leading edge right here needs to fall in this body line right there. So we're gonna attempt. So another common mistake that I see is when it comes to the SX, people try taking this piece and shoving it all the way to the wall. Can't do that. The dash plate still has to be able to slide into the back. So try to leave yourself a little bit of room. There's the front dash. This piece has to go on before you spray your side piece. And I'll show you the reason why. Once you get just the rear part of the cap on, I get my Kevlar scissors out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that piece down, pull this piece up, pull that piece down. Then I'm gonna do a little pie cut. And then we have to spray contact cement on this and then the rest of it. Just for a heads up, your mat kit will come all the way to this edge right here. So if you do want to put another piece of tape on, give yourself another hard line. Maybe go 1/4 of an inch in just so you have a little back spacing. So main thing to concentrate on is this line right here. This is the line that's gonna match up in the dash. This is where I really try to make things look per se Gucci, nice and tight. So I'm gonna plot my inner line. I'm gonna follow this body line, no overhang. So once I get about 3/4 of the way back, I'll kind of press down on it. Right here in this section, I have about 1/4 of it still up. So if I tell myself I need to kind of tug this back a little bit, I'm gonna pull it back with keeping in mind this body line right here. So now I can push down on that. So now this body line comes flat with this body line. So now we're gonna come on to this side. This is the body line I really try to keep. That's what I wanted to see right there. And then there's one side of Jettrim. Just a reminder for everybody, doesn't matter what ski you're, either if it's SX, JS, SXR 800, SXR 1500, you have to remember, if you want an undermat, you have to order an undermat. Here's an undermat from Jettrim. This, I buy a full roll. Some customers want 2, 3 layers. Some people want none. Some people only want 1 layer. So I didn't order it, but I just wanted to give you a friendly reminder that if you do want undermat, you have to ask for it. Welcome back to After Hours. We had to postpone last night's event. Got rather late in the shop, so we're going to continue where we finished. And what you didn't see earlier this evening before my video guy got here, I installed the other side. So people would think the next step is rear kicker and undermat. Nope, we're going to do one thing better. The whole bad thing about a kicker is you can't get to your rear bow eye. So the guys over at Jettrim, if you ask for it, provide a U-bolt, which we're going to be installing right here in the rear corner. So basically when the kicker is on, we can still get a rear strap onto our ski. We're going to take the flat plate to our U-bolt and we're going to sit it right here in this corner. Grab my drill bit, my drill. Okay, so some of you might be thinking, okay, Jason, why did you put it right here and not center of the boat? The reason being is your steering nozzle will not fit if it's in this direction. So if you were to put it all the way over here, max turn will never touch the U-bolt. I put the plate on the top, so slide that in. This allows the D-ring to set as low as possible. And then we'll flip the boat over. Grab your speed wrench, put some love on it. We will need to cut the very tops of the bolts off. I do have my cordless grinder and a piece of cardboard, so basically it doesn't send the sparks into the bolts or into the Jettrim. Remove all sharp edges. Place your kicker in whatever direction you want. We're gonna go with a little bit flatter of a kick to match the rear end of the boat. You could stand it up to get a little bit more of a kick. Line it up to the back of the boat and then press firm. I have a little die grinder we're gonna use to open up those indentations a little bit. Just as so, we'll glue that in. Glue's tacked up. We're gonna go ahead and install the kicker. Install our undermat. Now we'll spray the top and the bottom. Go ahead and install. Start with the front. You know, even sometimes I kind of V it to get a little better on center so the sides aren't touching. We're gonna pull down on the mat. And then we'll flip the ski over so we can spray the bottom side and give it its final trim. Make sure you get yourself some super glue and any of these little loose edges that you can find. That's where you go ahead and right before the trim starts, drop it on down right there and then just hold down on it. And do that around any loose areas you can find. These are all pretty good, but even on this seam right here, I'll go ahead and pull this back a little bit, drop a little bead all the way down and I'll hold it down. Thank you guys for joining us on this evening's After Hours. Catch you next time.